Alright, happy Sunday, everybody. I'm making another video yet again. It's been a long, long week. A lot of things have happened. Grand Theft Auto, Nintendo, Xbox, all these things. All within the span of like 2 weeks-ish. Like, and people are freaking out. Naturally, I looked it up, because I heard somebody say it in their YouTube video or like a comment section that the Xbox series was out for like 5 years now. And I checked, I'm like, holy cow. Yeah. Well, that's where we're at right now. We are in the golden age, but also like the stagnation age of gaming. And I think it's mostly to do with the fact that Nintendo threw money at Rockstar or Take-Two, whichever developer owns Grand Theft Auto, just to delay their game. Xbox probably heard that it happened and was so angry that they decided to increase the price of their console retroactively. And I checked, excuse me, certain territories in Europe have increased the price of PlayStation. So it's kind of like a cartel type of movement where it was kind of an illusion that I figured existed. You know, how all these console makers, maybe not so much Nintendo, but like they seem to be consolidating to an extent. And this proves it. Like, is there any reason for you not to have your Grand Theft Auto game? Okay, but that's not why I made this video. In fact, I made this video more of like a recap video of like all the topics I talked about, and then like what I'm gonna do going forward. So like just a little like preview as to what I want to do with this channel is just hype up Monster Hunter Wilds a little bit more. I know the next title update's gonna come out in the summertime. It's gonna be great. All the old fans from Try, so that's Monster Hunter 3 and onward, are gonna be coming back. So that's like a huge Nintendo fan base. It's gonna be a great time, and it's kind of funny how I would have thought that like maybe Monster Hunter coming onto the Switch would have been like a far-fetched idea. But in the case of Grand Theft Auto possibly showing up on that console, chances are there could also be, Monster Hunter Wilds on that console as well. Which would be pretty cool. Like, I can't lie and say that Nintendo is better off without, games that everybody wants to play. And they're just gonna get left out, and yeah. I'm also actually wondering, like, the version of Elden Ring that Switch is getting, and then they're gonna add new stuff to it. I'm just a big Elden Ring fan. I'm gonna be making some Elden Ring lore videos. Not so much like the smart topics and stuff. It's just like some of the things I think were kind of weird to me, like left out. I don't know if like somebody answered them already on the internet, like through their videos or like forum discussion or message board or whatever. But from what I can see, uh, yeah, I just want to like figure it out maybe. I know this sounds weird, but like it just seems like if you see an obvious question and it goes unanswered for long enough, and then like Night Rain's coming out, you're just like wondering, wait, so no one's gonna ask this question? That's how I feel about it. So it's not like, oh, it's the lore about like America or the Elden Ring or any of the things that like people have spoken about to greater depth than I ever could. I'm just the guy who makes YouTube videos for fun, right? And speaking of fun, what happened? What happened, man? Did the curse of Sungrad curse Sungrad himself? I I don't know what to say. He is going down a spiral of madness, which I cannot comprehend. Like he even commented because I watched the video. I think it was by Fratanga. Fratanga Plays, if I'm not mistaken. Cool YouTuber. Um, oh, and initially I doubted him and Smash JT, but I still don't like Smash JT. Smash JT kind of like rubs me the wrong way. Like he's a little too bloodthirsty for Razor Fist, and I'm like, guy, you know, like this is like drama that's happened in this man's life like years ago, and I feel bad for Razor Fist because it's like, you know what I mean? Like he's like one of those guys who's successful, who's made it. He's like my age, but like at the same time, it's like why are you dealing with these fucking boomers talking about your shit, man? Like what the fuck? But like, yo, that's the life that we're all talking about living, right? Because, excuse me, Sungrad, right, has been going through this transitory phase, whatever, man. He's just like trying to do some like gospel, like country style stuff. And then like when people called him out on it, he's like, "Yeah, I'm just joking." And I'm like, why would you joke about that? And he's wearing like blue contacts. Like, this is what happens when you take a guy who, I guess he's a hardcore liberal Democrat, whatever, and you expose him to like enough fame. And you know the irony is like how most Democrats or liberals start off that way, and then they wind up being like either conservative or like what's the next one, libertarian afterwards because they just can't stand it anymore. And it's like guys like this who are outwardly like offensive for the sake of being offensive, and I find that like, yeah, in poor taste, buddy. Like, okay, you lost the discussion about video games, okay. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the curse of Sungrad. Like, let me tell you, man. Like, he's he shouldn't be doing the things he's doing, but here we are. Like, his love of Nintendo drove him to the edge of sanity. Can you imagine a guy like that who's like, like the easily swayed mindset who like is playing these fantasy-esque games in a world where consequence bears no meaning, right? Like you are not really at fault for what you say or what you do, even if it like goes a little too far. And I think, right, I should apologize to Adi Shankar, and let me tell you why. So Frank, I think it was like 2 videos ago, right? I said, okay, maybe his wife and him talk, like, like the constant cussing and stuff. And then I didn't think about it for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. So Addy's my age. He happens to know who Asmongold is. Wait a minute. Does he also know who other streamers are? And I watched this like restream of like Darkside Phil, and it was like those comedy ones where they like splice together all these like incriminating videos to like contradict what he says. So he's like, I'm trying to like be a positive guy. I'm trying to be a positive content creator, and then it splices the way to like all these times he's like cussing out these people on his channel for saying like various things, and like the way he swears, dude. I was so wrong about this. I thought it was like because it's like coming from Lady, right? On Devil May Cry, the anime. I'm like, okay, so this is from a girl's perspective, right? Naturally. And they went, wait a minute. This is exactly like Darkside Phil. Dude, what the fuck? So this guy, like, literally knows pop culture in and out, like, and he, like, probably equates the good and the bad together. He probably thinks, like, yo, Asmongold is just like, Darkside Phil is just like, like LTG for all, they're all the same, and like for all of the like the good things that Asmongold has brought to like the gaming community, like it is like in my personal opinion, and of course you can throw shade at me, of course, but like in my personal opinion, it is not cool to have like a bug infestation in your house and then you're just gaming and shit. Just clean, and it makes all of us look bad. And I know you don't do it anymore, okay? And I'm not trying to like, patronize you or blame you for that. But try to understand, like, yo, a guy like Adi Shankar probably thinks we're like all the fucking same because of like shit that you do, and it's like I like video games, and it's just like, wait a minute, what do I have a fucking bug infestation? No, I don't. 90% of us don't, dude. Stop it. Okay, but like, yo, the reason why everybody likes Asmongold is because you know he's genuine at that point. You know he's 100%. You can't deny his word. He is the he is the voice of all of us, but not necessarily hygienically speaking. No offense, buddy, but like, okay, like enough of me throwing shade because that's not the point of this Sunday recap video, because it's supposed to be like, more soothing, more comic, gotta calm down, gotta stop throwing shade throwing shade at Adi Shankar and his like failing Devil May Cry franchise that's like making everybody angry. You know what it is, right? Okay, so he did like a rewrite of a character in Castlevania to like include this like character that's like pro like, Islamic, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's his religion and stuff, right? But like, yo, when you think about it, he couldn't do that for any character in Devil May Cry. So like, think about it. He just like, made do what he had, and just like insulted everybody equally, collectively and stuff, and you at the same time. And then like the console makers increased the price. It's just contempt all the way around, right? But it's like, it's been a really crazy week, and who knows how it's gonna end. Well, thanks for like watching my video, and have a nice day.